The other day I was in a situation where I needed to make metrics work on a scope table that wasn't task. And so I went to the community and I found a post where somebody said, "Hey, I did just that," but they didn't say how they did it. So I went digging. This video will walk through those steps. Before we get into that, let's do a quick overview of how metrics work. Metrics are triggered by a business rule. That rule creates an event with the modified fields and the update number. The event is processed by a script action. The script action reverts the record in memory to the version it was at the update time for the fields that matter. Then calculations are made based on the values at the time and now, and it stores those as the metric. Why does this fail? And how do I know this? All right, well, there's two parts to this that we need to recreate where we'll go and I'll show you exactly where it fails. First, there's the business rule. We'll need to make a new business rule. And if we want to make this work within the scope, we would have to make this in our scope. So I went ahead and did that. I copied the script exactly as it was. And one of the things it calls is this glide script record util, which if you run it, it will fail. So I couldn't tell exactly where it was failing in the business rule. So I threw the code in a fixed script and I ran it manually. And it told me that the glide script record util wasn't available in the scope. And I couldn't add it because it's not a script include. So I was able to recreate the function to determine the fields that changed. The next point of failure in the business rule is the use add active query on glide record, which just isn't available in scopes. So I changed the query from add active query to add query where active is true. Then it makes a call to this glide DB object manager class, which gets the table and its extensions. There was some code on the community about how to recreate this function, and so I was able to do that as well. Fantastic, we're almost there. Everything was looking great so far. And then I got this message that metric update isn't accessible or isn't there, like it wasn't found. That's the name of the event that gets triggered. And so I was like, well, I want to keep everything in my scope. So I'll just make a metric update event in my scope. Now we need to recreate the script action to have it call this new metric and parse it properly. In the script action, everything looks like it works just fine. There's a call to the global DB object thing, and I was able to solve that just like it was in the business rule. But then there's a call at the end of it to this glide record rollback, which seems to do the logic of reverting the record back to the version it was at that update number, which is protected and not available to scopes. And this is where the trail ends. If somebody rewrote this so that it could work, you could potentially make this all work within a scope. But today, that's just not possible. So the workaround is you just build the business rule in global. Let's tell ServiceNow to make this better by asking for access to these protected classes. If you like this video and the content, please like and subscribe and leave a comment about your thoughts below on maybe other ways to handle this. Thanks.